In this video, I'm going to talk about how to send SMS in TestCentre. Now, there are situations where you want to send bulk SMS to candidates that have been registered for a given test. And there may be situations where you also want to send results of candidates after they must have taken the test. So imagine these two scenarios. So let's say you've registered some candidates for an exam and you want to send them a kind of reminder SMS or an SMS that contains their reg number alongside the subject combination, right? Let's say you want to send such message to each candidate via SMS. How do you go about it? So that's what today's discussion will be all about. Then let's say those candidates have written their exams and you want to send SMS to their phone numbers of containing their results, right? How do you also go about it? SMS could be a great way for you to send messages to candidates. And some of those phone numbers might be the phone numbers of their guardian. Even if the students have seen the result, you may want to send messages to, let's say, the guardian of the student, or let's say they did not see their result when they at the point of submission, but you want them to see the result when they get home. You can send their result to them via SMS. So that's what today's discussion is all about. Then today's discussion is also about talking about ways to do that. Note that SMS has been in TestCentre for a while now, for more than 2 years, right? For about 2 years. We've got this feature, but we've always used bulk SMS providers, the typical bulk SMS sites. That's the API we have been using generally to send bulk SMS. But they've been unreliable for a long time now. They've been very unreliable. And if you even try to send bulk SMS, you may realize that most of them might not go through. And because of this problem, we've not really been encouraging people to send SMS. But the good news is we've developed a special Android app that you can install on your mobile phone and use that medium to send bulk SMS to your candidates. So this discussion will talk about everything about SMS. How do you set up the SMS? Where do you send the SMS? And how do you get the Android app that allows you to send bulk SMS? For now, we don't advise you use the typical way we send SMS. The recommendation now is that you use the app to send your SMS. Now let's talk about setting up SMS. So to set up SMS, here's where you go. You go to settings, then you go to the SMS location. Now, the first one to do is to create templates. You can use the default template that we have. We have two templates, invitation and results. So let me start with the invitation. The goal of this template is just for you to, is a message that allows you to send, is a message for those that have registered for a test, but they've not taken the test. So you are basically inviting them to come and take the test. You understand? So you are telling them something like, hi, you have been invited for a test. So basically you want to reflect the candidate name in the message. You want to reflect the location of the test and also reflect the reg number so that when students or the candidates get to see the message, they know exactly what their reg number is. They get to see their name and any other information that you want. So this is just an invitation, but it is not, they've not registered for the test at this point, or even they've registered, just want to invite them. So that is what this template is all about. And you can change it, right? You can change the template. You can edit even what we have as default. You can edit it to whatever you have, and you can, mind you, this sender ID is just an identity of your business, but it's not useful in almost all our discussions. So it's just a placeholder just to identify the sender. Okay. Then you can also delete a template, right? So you can add a fresh one. So let's say I want to add another invitation. So let's say I have my own special invitation template. So let's call this invitation 2. Then let me just say the sender ID is IFSAWI. Then now in this message, I may have something like hello. Then the question now is, how do you insert the candidate's name, right? Since this is a template that will be used for several candidates, you can't just say hello Daniel, for instance, because you don't know the candidate name at this point, and the candidate name should be unique for everybody. So how do you create a placeholder for name. The placeholder is actually known as candidate name inside a square bracket. So what that means is before the app will send the message to each of the candidates, it will replace that message, that placeholder, with the actual name. So I can say, hello, candidate name, and you have been scheduled for a test tomorrow. Here is your reg number. Here is your reg number. So now what I'm going to do here is just to say reg number using a placeholder, and that's it. So this is basically how you, let me say this is reg number. So this is basically how you construct a template and you can save. Now, once you've saved it, you are good to go, right? So you now have templates, you now have this. So you can use any template, you can create as many templates as possible. But the next question that may be on your mind is, how do I know all the keywords to use? And what are the possible keywords I can use, right? So here are the possible keywords you can use. If you click on these keywords, you will see all the possible keywords you can use, or all the possible placeholders, which are also keywords that you can use. If you type something like this, business name, it's a placeholder for the business name. So the business name of that you registered here. So when I say the word business name, I'm referring to this. So this is the business name, and this is the business address. Mind you, you can edit the business name and the business address, right? So, but whatever you type here, that's what it's referring to. So let's go back to SMS. So let's click on that again. So we have business address, we have candidate name. So this is the name of the candidate as registered during the time you're uploading candidate detail. So this is the keyword or placeholder for reg number. This is the class. This is the batch number, subject combination. So these are examples, right? So that you get to see exactly how it's going to look like. So these are subject question count. So let's say you want to reflect the subject and the number of questions like this. You use this placeholder, then the duration of the test, and so on. So these are all the place numbers, holders. But one thing you understand is you can't use certain placeholders in certain situation. So some placeholders will be should be used in certain situations. So let's say you want to send results to candidates, then all of these ones will make sense, like the scores, the total time spent. But if you just want to send an invite, not the score, all these placeholders will not be useful. And if you have those placeholders, they will not be replaced with something because there's no result, right? So that's one thing you understand. Well, I'm going to show you the two places where let's say all the places where you can send SMS. Okay, so let's close this. So that's how you create template. Once you create a template, you are good to go. So the next question in your mind is, where do we send SMS? And where do we send SMS basically? So the first place is under candidate. If you go to candidates, here are the candidates I've registered, right? I can send an SMS to a single person. So like this candidate, I can just send an SMS to this person by just clicking send SMS, and I'll be asked to pick the template of my choice. So I have invitation 2, invitation 1. If I pick invitation 2, you see a preview, right? So this is going to insert that placeholder with the actual name and the reg number here. Then I can pick invitation, the default one. Then let's take a look at result. The problem with result is, there is no total score, because when you are under candidates, you are not dealing with tests. You are not dealing with results. So there is no result data inside candidate. So a candidate information has nothing to do with score. So if you have all this template, the template will not be replaced because there's no score. There's nothing like that, right? So you shouldn't use certain keyword keyword that are related to results. You should not use it when you want to send messages to candidate. And when you want to send messages to candidate, the goal here is to just invite them. So basically what you should just have is the reg number, the business name, maybe the business address. Then you can manually type any other information you want. So let's say you want to assign a particular time. You can manually type that, okay, come by 5 p.m. You can do that in the template, right? So under the template message, you can type specific information that everybody should see. Yeah, so that's how you go about sending bulk messages on that candidate. So once you've selected once you click on proceed, you get to see this. Now, there are two delivery modes, right? So the first delivery mode is telling you to send it via the Bulk SMS app we just designed. Then the second delivery mode is the Bulk SMS website, which is the old method we've been using. So we don't recommend this option until we figure out a reliable way to send it via Bulk SMS website. But for now, this should be the default option. Then this is just your license password, right? So once you enter license password, you click on send. But I'm not going to complete this because I need to show you other things before we talk about what happens thereafter. You can send to everyone that is within this group. So if, for example, altogether I have 100 candidates here. Mind you, there are several pages here, right? So it's going to send to all the pages. But if you want to filter, you can filter to limit the number of candidates. Let's say you want to send to only those who registered yesterday or within the past 30 days. So you can filter before you send. But when you click on this send, it's going to send to everyone, right? It's going to send to everyone that is within this group, and also everyone with a phone number. If you don't have a phone number, it's going to filter such a candidate out, right? So that's the way it works. Okay, so now that we understand where to send SMS on that candidate, what about test? So this is where you send SMS on that test. You can send SMS. Okay, let's look at group action. So you can send SMS before the result. So on that test, let's say you've registered a candidate for a given test. So when you're on that test, you've actually registered. So these are the information, these are the data available to you to send as SMS. You have access to the subject, to the season number, but you don't have access to the result yet. But you have access to things like the subject combination and so on. So you can send SMS, right, where you also invite them and you include their subject combination, right, and other things you want them to see. So after you do that, you click on proceed, then you move on. But this one has other options, like you can exclude unlicensed tests. So let's say any test you have no license, you want to get rid of that, yes. Then you can also exclude ongoing or submitted tests. That if you have submitted or a test is ongoing, you don't want to invite such a person, right? This person is already taking the exam. So you can filter before you eventually proceed. Okay, so that's for test under manage. Then the third place is under results, test, results under test. Now, in this case, your other group action, you will see send results as SMS. So if you click that, you'll be able to send result as SMS. And this time around, you have the options to just pick your template and proceed, or you have this other setting. So what are the use of this setting? So let's say you only want to send results to people that passed. So imagine a scenario or a situation where you conducted an entrance exam for some student. Let's say you run a school and you've got like 300 candidates wrote an exam for maybe an enrollment exam. And let's say your cutoff mark is 50. So you can say that you only want to send an SMS. Maybe you want to congratulate them, you want to wish them the best, or you want to let them know, okay, congratulations for passing, and you also want to let them know their score and let them know that they've been selected. You can set a limit, right? So you can set a limit that the minimum score limit should be, let's say, 50. So in this case, only those with 50 and above, we get this message. So let's say you now want to send another message to those that failed. So think about it this way. There are two categories, those that passed and those that failed. Now, those that failed are those that they wrote the exam, but you want to tell them that, oh, sorry, you did not meet up to the cutoff mark. Maybe you try again next year or what have you. Now, in that case, you may want to show them their result, but also let them know that they they were not shortlisted. So in that case, what you should do is to set the minimum to be 0, but maximum should be something like, let's say 49, right? So you want to say, okay, anybody that's scored between 0 and 49, or maybe 49.999999, maybe if you want, or you want to say 50. If 50, if anybody that's scored 50 and below is categorized as failed, then you go with this. But if it is less than 50, then maybe you should choose something like 49.9999 or something like that, and you'll be good to go. Okay, so these are the options you have to filter who you want to send the SMS to. And once you've decided that, you just click on proceed, and you get to see the next phase, which is you choosing the delivery mode and you providing your password. So these are basically how you go about sending your message. So that's it. So that's basically how it works. So I'm going to click on cancel, and let's now talk about the delivery mode itself and the likes. So, but now that you know how to send the SMS, you know where to go, and you know how to construct your messages. So the next is, how do we send the SMS? Where do we get the app from? For now, the app can be downloaded from our website directly. So the link will be given to you, but we're going to also put it on our website where you can download it directly from our website. But I'm going to show you right away how to get the app and how to install it on your phone. Mind you, it's not on Play Store at the moment. And part of the reason is Play Store does not allow apps that send SMS. You have to go through a lot of scrutiny. They will ask you for forms. So for now, we are not allowed to put it on Play Store, but you can directly download it on your mobile device and get it up and running. So let's take a look at how it works on the mobile app. So let's take a look at the app on my mobile device. So I've downloaded the app on my mobile device, and this is where it is on my folder, on the phone's folder. So I'm going to try to install it, and let's walk through the process together. So let's click on this APK file. So once I click on install, let's see what happens thereafter. Now, along the line, you may have certain problems. For example, in this case, Google Play is blocking it or preventing me from installing, because since it's not downloaded from Play Store, Play Store is looking at it as an app that is sensitive, that takes or accesses sensitive information like SMS and the likes. So because of that, Play Store is blocking it, right? So what do you do about it? The solution is very simple if you come across this. So the solution is to go to Play Store and disable that feature. So this is Play Store. So I'm going to go to my Play Store. So here's my Play Store, right? So under your Play Store account, what you do is click on the icon of your Play Store account. Then you go to Play Protect. Once you go to Play Protect, you go to this setting menu. Then you disable the Play Protect. Once you turn it off, you are good to go. You may be asked to authenticate, and once you are done, it's good to go. So once you do this, it will not prevent you from installing it again. So let's go back to the file. Let's go back to the APK. Then let me install, and let's see what happens now. So the installation should be fine this time around. So we've got the installation working everything is installed properly. Then let's open the app. So once you open the app, you will be asked to allow this to manage, let's say, SMS or calls. Then you click on allow. So once you do that, you are good to go. So the next is to enter the center ID. So the center ID can be found on the admin. So the center ID can be found on the admin PC. If you go to the desktop of your TestCentre admin, you'll see your center ID. So in this case, my center ID is BFNHAPA. Then the batch size, the send batch size. So what's send batch size? Is the number of messages that will be sent each time you click on the send button. So that's the maximum, you understand? So what that means is, let's say you pushed 300 messages, right? From the TestCentre admin to be sent as SMS. Now, on this app, what is going to happen is each time you click on the send, so let me click on this save. So each time you click on this send SMS button, it will only take 30 maximum and send those 30 as a batch, and that's it. So if you want to send again, you click on that same send SMS, then to send 30, and you keep doing that until you send the entire 300. So you may be asked, why don't you just send the whole 300 at once? The reason for that is, if you exceed 30 per minute, per 30 minutes, right? Your app will be warning you that there's an app sending a lot of SMS, and it will ask if you want to continue. So because there's a pop-up that keeps coming once you are sending a lot, we don't want to just send a lot and you see a lot of failed messages. If messages will fail if you don't allow. So what that means is, if you have 50 messages sent, once you cross 30, it will start warning you that you are sending too much messages. And this is the one will be coming from Android OS itself. But if you keep allowing it, if you keep telling it, okay, I'm fine, keep allow, nothing will happen, the SMS will not fail. But if you don't pay attention to it and you just ignore it, it will stop. After that 30, it will stop, it will disallow the rest, and then those ones will fail, you understand? So even though it's a bulk SMS sender, because of the security within Android, you still need to permit it once you exceed certain limits, so that it just keeps sending, right? So that's what that limit is all about. You can increase the limit to anywhere from 1 to 100, but if you go beyond 30, it means you keep clicking on allow each time it pops up that warning. Okay, so that's for the settings. You can always go back to the settings here. If you click on these 3 dots, you can go back to the settings and edit the setting. Then you can also delete all pending messages and all messages. Okay, so now let's talk about the call feature. In this case, you can switch between SIM 1 or SIM 2. So let's say you have 2 SIM cards on your phone and you only want to send the message via SIM 1 or SIM 2. You can pick the SIM you want to use to send, and it's going to use that. Then what about this fetch SMS and fetch and send SMS? So I'll talk about that. But before I talk about that, I need to upload the message. If you click it now, nothing happens, right? So, I mean, what I might nothing happens is there's no SMS to be sent. Then if you click on send SMS, there's no SMS also to send. So nothing, you're not going to see any result. Okay, but now, let's send an SMS. So one quick way you can send SMS is going back to this SMS settings. Right? Under settings, go to SMS. You can send a very quick bulk message here. So this part is also where you can send SMS, this. Now, why do we have this? This is useful in a case where you have these bulk phone numbers that you want to send bulk messages to. So let's say you gathered some contacts and you want to send a message to them. So this candidate, you've not registered them you probably don't have their name, you don't have their detail, all you just have is the phone number or a set of phone numbers, and you just want to send messages to them and you want to invite them for a mock or for some exams, right? So you can just compose this exam like, do you know you can boost your chance in the forthcoming UTME by taking a mock exam. Join other candidates now. So let's say this is the message I intend to send. So the phone number, let me just use this phone number to send it. So this is, okay. So let me now put this a test. This is a demo message. Okay, so let me add this. Then let me also add this 37778195. Okay, so I'm going to, so you can add as many lines as possible, as many lines as you want. And in case you type some rubbish phone numbers, it's going to tell you about it. It's telling me that there's an invalid phone number in row 3. So which means it's not just going to send it blindly. It's going to check for invalid phone numbers. Okay, so now once you have all of that, you click on send. So once you use this medium to send, it's going to send it via the app. So you can see it's queued, the messages are queued, right? So it's going to send it via the app, via the Android app, not the web site, right? Okay, so now this is now ready to be fetched. So what that means is I can now go to my Android app. So let me go back to my Android app and click on this fetch SMS. So once I click on this fetch SMS, you can now see the message telling me successfully queued 2 messages. So now I can close this and I'm ready. So you can see that under messages, under the messages count, we have all messages now. We have 2 messages pending. We have 2 pending. So this is what happens when you click on fetch. When you click on fetch, it copies the messages that you've uploaded via TestCentre. It brings it offline to this app, right? And now it's ready to be sent. So to actually send it, you now need to click on this send SMS. Fetch is just to download it from our server and bring it into this app. Then send means you want to push it out to the recipient of those messages. So once you click on send, you wait for a few seconds, depending on network, depending on all sort of factors. And once the messages have been sent, you will get notified. So the messages are still ongoing. So let's wait for a few more, will I say seconds, and let's see what happens. So now all the messages have been sent, successfully sent out 2 out of 2. And you can see the debiting. So I've been debited for the messages. So let's go to our message app. Let's see if we can find those messages. So let's go to our message app. Here's our message app. So you can see now that I sent the message to this contact, right? And you can see the message I just forwarded. And you can also see that the second one also received the message. So that's how seamless it is. You push from the admin, then you send with the app. So let's go back to the SMS app. So on the SMS app, you can see the number of sent to, and there's no more pending. If you try to send again, it says there's no pending SMS. So that tells you that we've sent all the SMS that we've got to send. Okay, that's it. That's how seamless it is. And you can do the same thing for results. So let me go to results. So I'm going to go to test. I'm going to go to results. Then under results, I can send to a single candidate as follows. I just click on this drop down. Then I'm going to see send SMS. Now I can select my template. So the template I want to select is result. So this is going to show me my score and the likes. Mind you, the template is just, you can define your template, right? But don't make it too wordy so that it doesn't roll over to page 2. Then let's go to proceed. Once you click on proceed, you get to see this. So you can always choose the Bulk SMS Android app if you want to send it via the Android app. Then here I'm going to enter my ID, my license account password rather. So then I'm going to click on send, and now it has queued 1 SMS data. So what do you do on your SMS app? You click on fetch SMS. Once you do that, it's going to download that SMS to the app. Then you have 1 pending message. Then once you click on send, it's going to send the SMS to the candidate. So let's go to the SMS app. Let's see if that has been sent. So here's the result here. So the result is there, Daniel, Josh, here's the result, blah, 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 blah. You understand? So that's it. That's how simple and cool it is. Okay, let's go back to the Android app. So that's how you send via the Android. You can send as many messages as you wish, but the only problem is if you send a lot of messages, you have to keep clicking on send to send each batch. So the maximum batch based on my own setting is at 30. It's going to pick 30 at a time in case I have a lot of messages and I have to keep clicking on send. It's not a big deal. So if I have, let's say, 1,000, it's a few, maybe 20, about 30 something clicks, I'll be done sending everything. So the good thing also about sending in batches is in case, let's say, for some reason, there's a failure, only 30 will fail at a time. So you can stop sending, fix the issue. So the failure may be due to network problem. Maybe at that time there's a network problem, a serious network problem, or maybe you run out of airtime, so you can fix that, then you resume. But one thing you should understand is if it fails, it shows you that it has failed. So what that means again is you can resend it from the test center and you can resend it, or you can even go to your phone and you'll see that it has failed and manually send it in case you want to go through that route. But there's flexibility. You get to see the message, you get to see what has failed and what has not failed, and you can resend it as many times as you wish. Okay, so that's how you go about sending a bulk SMS via the TestCentre application.